Greeting, friends. I'm coming to you tonight from Tennessee. I did cross the border from Arkansas today, and I got to tell you, them roads coming out of that resort, they'll put hair on your chest or cause you to pray like you're in a foxhole. They're kind of windy and steep and coming down a mountain or up. And then I thought today, I went up this one in the dark the other day. I'm glad I was driving slow, and it was kind of sort of hazy. I wouldn't call it foggy, but there were spots where I didn't really go over 20 miles an hour. I really like the resort. I really like the area. I don't like the roads going in from either side. They're going, I guess it's in the Ozark Mountains. So I'm kind of leaning that I like Brant or getting to Branson better, even though you have to drive past one of these roads in Arkansas. Well, if you're going from Texas, you drive up, I think it was 65 from 40, which is outside of Little Rock. You take, I don't know, 220, some kind of bypass, 520, I don't know, 540, one of those connecting interstates, and then you get on 40 for a little while. Then you go up to 65, I think, all the way to where you turn off for Branson. I think it goes all the way to Springfield. But anyway, once you get past this resort, that road gets kind of windy, but it's one of those with a passing lane and then not, and then not. So it's not only two lanes, but going in and out of the resort is only two lanes. I got to a 4-lane road, and I was real happy then to come here. It turned me on to another 2-lane road forever, but I had a really neat experience. I was going down one of those 2-lane roads and going the speed limit, and I had an 18-wheeler behind me, kind of close behind me, although I have my back seat stacked up pretty high with the storage stuff. I can see in the rearview mirror, but it's only like a little glimpse, and I got the 2 side mirrors, so I'm fine. I don't really care if a truck is tailgating me, but I looked over. There were a lot of cotton fields that I saw them harvesting, but I think this may have been, it probably was cotton because I haven't seen any cornfields. I was going to call it a cornfield, but it was a field that had been harvested, so it may have been cotton. And I saw a bird of prey flying with a white tail. And I thought, I wonder if that's a bald eagle. And sure enough, it was kind of doing a corkscrew to go higher. And its head turned around, and it was white. And I thought, a bald eagle. Well, I thought, I can't pull on the shoulder here. This truck's liable to run over me, so I'll turn off at the next road I can find. It turned out to be a dirt road, so I turned down that. And there was a business, kind of like one of those industrial businesses to the right, like a lot of trucks parked behind the gate. So I pulled into the gate area because it was closed on what is today, Saturday? I rushed to the trunk, threw it up, got my camera out, took the regular lens off, put the telephoto lens on, and turned around like, well, where'd it go? It disappeared. There had to be a body of water, a river, creek, swamp, something close by it. Probably saw a fish and dove down to get it. But then I got to thinking, I don't know that I've ever seen a bald eagle in the wild kind of sailing like that, or what do you call it? I used the word earlier when I texted a friend, soaring like an eagle. So I really wanted to get a picture, but then I thought as I was driving, I saw about 100 bald eagles in Alaska 30 years ago, maybe. I don't know if it's been that long, but it was when I was a police officer. That was 1991 to 96-ish, in that range. May have been right the last year, like 96, 97. I went on a travel agent familiarization trip because I was an outside travel agent at the time. And I saw lots of bald eagles, but I definitely did not have a professional camera nor a telephoto lens. So if I got pictures of them, I couldn't even tell you where they were. That was before we had digital photography. It would have been negatives. So my first thought that I'd never seen one in the wild was inaccurate. And I did see one. Well, I've seen several since then. When I was a chief park ranger, I was asked to fill in at a park called Caledon State Park in Virginia, which is on the Potomac River. And they had a nesting pair, but I never saw them actually flying. And then when I was at my friend's farm in West Virginia, as we were driving home for Thanksgiving, one flew off the road, but it wasn't soaring. It was eating something, so it was just kind of an upshoot as the vehicle came by. And then when Judy and I were going to Gunston Hall, one was kind of taken off out of the trees in Fairfax County, which kind of really surprised me. So I guess like the bears, the bald eagles are making a comeback in the lower 48. So that's 3 I've seen in since Thanksgiving a year ago. Well, last year, 2021. So that's a big improvement over like the last 20 years. I don't know that I've seen any in the wild, but I didn't get any proof, so that's unfortunate. But I am here in a town called McKenzie, Tennessee. It's not right on the interstate. It's a ways off, in fact, but it was very reasonable. I think the one on the other end of Tennessee, about 400 miles from here that I'm staying in tomorrow night, was extremely cheap, like under $50. They're both five, all 5-star rating. But if you looked at hotels recently, oh my goodness, you're talking about $70 for a day's in with 2.5 rating. No, and we've had, me and my friends traveling have had some bad experiences in hotels recently, so I'm not going to say I'm 100% Airbnb, but this trip I stayed in a hotel in Georgia. It was acceptable, but it was a bit scary at times too. I'm glad I didn't have any lady friends with me, because if they'd been in another room and they'd have been real scared most likely. In fact, I've reserved an Airbnb in Savannah, Georgia. And I was talking to my friend about it, you know, if it was all right. She said, well, as long as you're going to be there, I'll be all right. I don't know if I'd stay in one by myself. But anyway, ladies have some of those concerns that I don't have. My friend that I was going back to Virginia with from Texas, I called her that night. We were in the bad Quality Inn. I've never stayed in a Quality Inn again. And she's like, well, I'm just going to pretend it's like camping, and then I'll be all right. Because it was kind of poor. That's the one I had to call the fire marshal on when we got back to Texas. And he called me back and told me he had a stern talk to the manager, owner, whatever, and they were going to have things remedied. But he assured me that he inspected that hotel a while back and it wasn't like that, that there were other nice hotels in that town if I ever came back through. And I will be going through it here tomorrow, but I'm going on past another hour or two. Not staying in that town. You know, one bad experience is enough for me to say no thank you. So I know y'all think this traveling is just easy peasy, but driving 300 and 400 miles a day is a bit of a challenge. Anyway, that's my check-in for tonight. I think I'm going to try to get one up on the CP59 Fit channel. My host is out, so hopefully I'm not bothering anybody and he won't come in the middle of me filming. But I'm in the room. I may hear the alarm beep, you know, as they go beep, beep when the door opens. But anyway, I'm safe. I'm cozy. I'll get this loaded up. I assume it'll go on tonight. It may not go on until I get on the road tomorrow. I'll see how much I get done before I go to sleep. But I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight because I do have a 400-mile drive tomorrow and another 400-mile drive on Monday. And then we'll be on the road again Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday, I think. Yeah. Thursday will be, well, Wednesday I'll go from my parents to Fredericksburg, which is only an hour and a half. Then we'll go to Augusta, which is about an 8-hour drive, but there'll be 2 of us to drive on that trip. Then the next day we'll go from Augusta to Fort Lauderdale and hope and pray that there's no interior, what they call Central Florida flooding. I think that's why our train was canceled. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I appreciate you watching. I'm going for 1,000 subscribers. We're going to be monetized in March, so hit that little C down there. I promise you I'll get a picture or something up there soon because that's one of the things required to get monetized. I've got everything but the pictures and the 1,000 subscribers. So please help me get that done. I appreciate the new subscribers I've gotten in the last week. By pushing for subscribers, my number has gone up, I think 4 or 5 again this week. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate every one of you. And I hope you'll watch some of the videos too. Thanks. I'm signing off for tonight. God bless you. Bye-bye.